Hey Flow fam, welcome back to the channel. So I'm 3 months postpartum and obviously my body has been through a lot of changes. This was my second birth. I experienced new things, some things I experienced again. I feel like I now have a better understanding of like birth and the things that your body's gonna go through after birth. So I just wanted to share some things about my experience, give you guys a little update, and maybe share some things you guys didn't know about. I know that I didn't know about a lot of this stuff until I went through it. For anyone that's curious about birth and postpartum, this is for you. For anyone that might be new here, my first pregnancy was a twin pregnancy. This one was a singleton. For some reason, my singleton pregnancy was much harder on my body than my twin pregnancy. I'm not sure if my body was just in a better condition when I got pregnant for the first time, but it was definitely harder the second time around. Your body changes in so many different ways when you get pregnant, and with each pregnancy, it changes even more. Postpartum is literally a roller coaster emotionally and physically. Speaking from my personal experience, after I give birth, those next few weeks, my body doesn't feel like my body. It's hard to explain, but if you've ever experienced it, you probably know what I'm talking about. You just like don't know your body. Your body feels so new to you, and all you're thinking is like when this baby comes out, you're gonna have your body back, you're gonna feel like yourself again. You know, like you miss your old body right before you got pregnant, and then the baby comes out and it feels like you're left in this whole new body. So I'm just gonna share everything I experienced, different ways my body changed, and things I didn't expect. I wanna thank Fit Right Fresh Start for sponsoring this video, starting with the biggest and probably the most unexpected thing that I went through: urinary incontinence. If you don't know what this is, it is basically loss of bladder control, and this is very common in women. It's just never talked about, so I didn't expect it, and then later realized that a lot of people go through this. It's totally normal, and it's just something that happens, especially when you go through pregnancy and labor and birth. During your first pregnancy, it's extremely common to experience this. 1 in 3 women actually experience the temporary stress incontinence, and additional pregnancies increase those odds. Nearly 75% of women experience the stress incontinence after they've given birth 2 or more times. When you're delivering a baby, it causes a lot of stress to your pelvic floor, and it can cause UI postpartum. But mine started when I was pregnant. When I was pregnant, I noticed that I would leak so easily if I like sneezed, coughed, or started laughing. It was so uncomfortable, but I knew it was just from like the baby putting pressure down there, and it happens. So I didn't think anything of it. I totally thought that it was gonna go away once I delivered the baby, but it actually got worse, and I didn't expect that at all. And it's probably the most like lingering thing that I'm dealing with right now, postpartum. It just hasn't gone away. Ever since I started using Fresh Start, I feel so much more confident and comfortable throughout my day. Going out isn't stressful anymore. I never have to worry about leaking or anything like that. They have Power of Arm & Hammer's odor control, and they're really comfortable to wear throughout your day. They're super discreet under clothing, and they have just changed this whole experience for me. This is a perfect example of what you can do to help your body and yourself adapt to all of the postpartum changes. There are ways to make you more comfortable throughout this process, and this has helped me a lot. 1 in 3 women experience urinary incontinence almost every day. It's so normal, it's just not talked about, and I feel like a lot of people think they're alone in this, but trust me, you're not. And there are ways to make you more comfortable throughout your day-to-day life. You guys can click the link in my description to shop Fit Right Fresh Start on Amazon. Use my code 20FreshStart and 20% off of all products will be applied at checkout. One of the most painful things that my body went through during the first few weeks of postpartum was anytime I was breastfeeding, my body was having really painful contractions. And I did experience this a little bit when I had the girls, but it was more of like a pain in my lower back. This time around, those contractions were so painful. I remember being in the hospital wanting to cry and asking for pain meds, and it was making me really stressed out because I didn't know when it was going to end, and it hurt so bad. But that is normal, and it did go away after about 2 weeks. That was definitely one of the hardest, most painful things I went through. It's all just your uterus working to get back to its normal size, but it hurts so bad. Another thing I've been dealing with as far as breastfeeding is my milk supply is completely uneven between my boobs. The right boob produces about 5 ounces every 4 hours, and then my left boob only ever gets 2 ounces, maybe 3 if I've waited like 6 hours, but they are always very obviously different sizes, and I never experienced that with the girls. They were always completely even, but this time around, for some reason, one of my boobs just produces way more milk, and I don't know why, but I just can't get them to even out. And it looks really funny, especially when I'm wearing like a tight light colored shirt. It's so obvious, and I'm too embarrassed to go out like that, so Usually I'll try and hide it. If you have any tips for how I can fix that, please comment them and let me know. When I had the girls, I got so many stretch marks all over my body. I got stretch marks on my boobs, on my stomach, like everywhere on my stomach, a lot on my legs. I didn't get nearly as big as I did when I had the girls, so I actually didn't get any new stretch marks, but I did have a lot more loose skin this time around. I'll put some pictures around here of what my stomach is currently looking like. I'd even try to use any like belly creams or anything to prevent stretch marks, because my stomach was already all stretched out from the girls. But it is just like a lot more loose skin, a lot more belly fat. I'm trying to be patient with my body and let it work itself out and go back to normal. With the girls, I felt like my body needed like that first year to really work itself out and get back to normal. So I'm trying to just be patient and gentle on myself. It has been hard mentally. It just really sucks not feeling like yourself and feeling like your body completely changed and all of a sudden none of your clothes fit you anymore. Watching your body change and go through all these things can be really stressful and a lot on you mentally, but just remember that your body did something amazing and it is normal and it is okay that your body looks different and you are beautiful, and just give it time and you'll start to feel more and more like yourself again. We got a special guest. He wanted to hang out with mommy. Another thing I really struggled with, especially during the first month of postpartum, was just like my overall body strength. I felt so weak. It's so hard to explain the way that it feels, but it's just like I had no core muscle whatsoever. My back was always hurting. It would hurt so bad just to stand up. Like if I was trying to stand up straight for too long, if I was trying to hold him, all just hurt so bad. And it all just came down to my body being extremely weak. After about 2 months, I started working out again, and I've definitely noticed an improvement in how I feel and how strong I feel. That's helped a lot. I highly recommend trying to just get to walking as much as you can. Holding and nursing your baby in those first few months takes such a toll on your body, especially your back. I could only hold him for so long before the pain was so bad, like I wanted to cry. The back pain, I was so scared was never gonna go away, but thankfully it did after about like 2 months. After pregnancy in general, like your back goes through a lot, but when you're trying to accommodate your baby all the time and nurse them and hold them and rock them and just like hold them a bunch of different ways, you're straining your back a lot, and it just takes some time to get used to, especially because your core is so weak in those first few weeks. Postpartum hair loss. I dealt with this so bad when I had the girls. I think most women experience this. It's really common. I see so many people talking about it, but the time has come for me. I can tell it's just the beginning of my hair starting to fall out. I'm hoping that it's not as bad as when I had the girls, but it's definitely started for me. I'm just trying not to stress out about it. I'm just hoping it's not too bad this time. That's pretty much all of the physical things I've been dealing with, but mentally, postpartum is a whole other roller coaster. I thankfully didn't deal with any postpartum depression with either of my pregnancies. I did deal with some baby blues in the first 5 days postpartum with him. It was basically just like a week of being extremely emotional and sad for no reason at all. I just wanted to cry like the whole time, and I felt so sad. Every day when the sun would go down, like I would tell Alonzo, like it gets really bad at nighttime. I was feeling really anxious and guilty about my 2 older kids, and I had like this really overwhelming feeling of like just the way like our life had suddenly changed, and it was making me really sad. But baby blues are really common and normal, and it went away within like a week, thankfully, and ever since then I've been so happy. I just love him so much. Any postpartum challenges or birth or the way my body changes is all worth it. He's always eating my hands. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to click the link in my description to shop Fresh Start. Say thank you for watching mommy's video. Bye.